When Pep Guardiola said John Stones had more balls than anyone else, he probably had many reasons to back that claim. Stones is arguably one of the world's finest ball-playing defenders, but how did this kid from Barnsley become a reference point for modern defending? Here's everything about John Stones, including his life outside of football. About 3 decades ago, Janet and Peter Stones welcomed their boy on the 28th of May, 1994 in the market town of Barnsley. Of course, they hoped their boy would do great things, but they surely would not have imagined him becoming one of England's most versatile players. Both parents were present in all of their boys' games while he was growing up. Stones first started playing football around the age of 5 with his local team, Penistone Church. What most people do not know is that John Stones almost made a move to Leeds early on, but his love for his friends made him choose Barnsley instead. Another crazy fact worth knowing is that Stones almost never made it to the big stage. Puberty happens at different times for everyone, and it came pretty late for Stones. He almost thought he'd be let go by the club at some point, but then the hormones kicked in just in time. Stones put pen to paper on a professional contract with his hometown club Barnsley in 2011, and a year later he made his first team appearance. Those early games in Barnsley set the tone for his career. It took only 24 games in Barnsley's jersey for the scouting eyes of Everton to make a £3 million bet on Stones in January 2013. However, things didn't go as planned, at least initially. It took another 8 months before Stones made his debut for the Toffees, and he would eventually put up enough towering performances to earn himself a nomination for the 2014 Golden Boy Award, alongside future teammates like Raheem Sterling, Aymeric Laporte, and Mateo Kovacic. At this point, it was becoming clear that Everton's pawn was too small for someone like Stones. Stones handed in a transfer request to leave after 3 bids from Chelsea to sign him, but Everton stood firm. They weren't willing to let go just yet. But everyone has a price, I guess. It turns out the right amount for Everton was £50 million, which Manchester City paid in 2016 to sign the young defender on a 6-year contract. At the time, it was the second most expensive transfer in the world for a defender. What in the world? Under Guardiola, Stones has since grown from being just a center back. He's become a jack of all trades for the citizens, playing in at least 3 different defensive positions and helping out occasionally in the attack. From the academy of Barnsley to the bright lights at the Etihad, Stones has now won it all. 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, and the Champions League. Stones has also made the PFA Team of the Year and the Champions League Team of the Year on 1 occasion. And now the question really is, how much higher can the Englishman go? But it hasn't been all rosy for the defender. His Achilles heel is a nagging injury that he's had to deal with for quite some time. Since John Stones moved to Manchester City, he's had at least 15 injuries that have kept him out for more than 50 games for club and country. But let's now skip to the good part and touch on Stones' life outside of football. Much of Stones' job requires looking out for the backline, and he's taken those lessons into the real world. He spends a good portion of his time looking out for his family and hanging out with them. As far as being a family person is concerned, Stones is absolutely big on family time and enjoys school runs. Despite his love for family, it hasn't always been smooth sailing for him. In 2018, Stones split from his long-term girlfriend Millie Savage. They had known each other since he was 12 and even had a daughter together in the same year that things went south. These days, he's found love again with Olivia Naylor, a beautician who runs a very successful clinic for aesthetic beauty. The pair have a son together now, and last time we checked, they have been keeping it rock solid. From what we've seen, the defender also loves the fast life. Stones tries to keep things a little quiet off the pitch. His Instagram page is mostly about his career. The defender's smile may not win him tackles on the pitch, but it certainly did win him a sponsorship deal with Oral-B toothpaste. The English star's bag is heavy, especially considering that he's got some other deals with brands like Axe and Gucci. Stones has certainly got an eye for life outside of football. He recently teamed up with stars from other sports to invest in a new sport called TGL. Never heard of it? Well, it's a new indoor golf league where top players from the PGA Tour form teams of 3 to compete against each other. It's new stuff, and that's totally on brand for John Stones, who's not scared to explore new ground, as he's shown over and over again. Stones may not complete as many take-ons as Jack Grealish, but the forward rates him highly in fashion terms. He's a sucker for the most stylish shoes on the planet, but yet he prefers to keep things as simple as possible when it comes to being stylish. Switching gears, let's take a sneak peek into his garage and see what's going on there. Stones is certainly a petrol head, no doubt. His fleet of cars includes a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Ferrari GT4 Lusso, Mercedes AMG SLS, and a Bentley Balenciaga S, just to mention a few. If you're not into cars, you might not know the exact cost of these cars, but as you probably imagine, they cost a lot. The first car on the list is valued between £225,000 and £349,000, while the Ferrari GT4 Lusso and Mercedes AMG SLS should cost somewhere around a sweet £150,000. Also, the Bentley Balenciaga S costs somewhere north of £200,000. Putting it all together, it's safe to say that Stones' garage costs more than £1 million. He's living the life for sure. The Manchester City star also acquired a magnificent rural property nestled near the charming town of Knutsford in Cheshire a couple of years ago. The mansion was said to have cost a staggering £3.4 million, a 6-bedroom mansion enveloped by the serenity of its own 2-acre estate. The defender's huge salary certainly keeps him going. He is about the second highest earning defender in the Premier League behind Raphael Varane. The Englishman currently makes around £250,000 every week, which adds up to about £13 million in a year. With 3 more years to go on his contract, he is set to make around £39 million in gross salary earnings alone, not to mention bonuses, sponsorships, and endorsements. Putting it all together, we estimate Stones' net worth to be more than $30 million. To his credit, Stones does a lot of charity. We know that he makes donations to the UK NHS and other organizations, but all that money hasn't stopped him from getting into trouble. Stones has found himself in some messy situations at times. Turns out he cheated on his ex-girlfriend by being involved in a 2-month-long affair. Millie found out about the affair, and that was the beginning of some serious problems. 11 years of friendship and relationship was about to go down the drain, but the story gets messier. In 2020, the police invited the defender over claims by his ex-girlfriend that he was spying on her using CCTV. How did that happen? Well, the couple used to share a £6 million home fitted with cameras. When they broke up, John moved out of the mansion, but still had access to the cameras at home. That's why his ex was worried and why she went to the police. The whole thing was cleared when the police investigated and found no evidence of criminal activity on Stones' part. During this time, Stones has ended the relationship and tried to get rid of a tattoo of his ex-girlfriend that he had. Also, he had been staying at a serviced apartment, a short distance from Manchester City's Etihad ground, where other players had an apartment. The word on the street is that the defender did eventually force Millie out of the house. Now 30 years old, Stones is currently leading the backline for England at the Euro 2024 and has been balling so far. But over to you guys. What are your thoughts about John Stones, and how does he stack up to your favorite defenders?